All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take Sharp and Shapiro. By the way, we're waiting to make a huge announcement in regards to the Vegas Take. We cannot make it yet.
And we're not very patiently waiting.
No, we're
the opposite of patiently waiting.
We're waiting to make it's good news for Vegas Take fans, but we cannot say what it is yet due to certain circumstance. But we are hoping that we will be able to make this very big announcement at some point this week. Can't give out any more information than that because I don't want to be sued, but we will be making a big announcement this week. It's Chris Wynn in studio on a Monday with J.D. Sharp. I am Brian the Idiot Shapiro. Thank you for joining us. We have a lot to get to, but speaking of idiots, guys, have you seen this video? This is unbelievable. A guy is at the World Series of Poker. He's known as the Naked Bandit on social media. He drops chow. Dropped chow. I don't even know what that means. He dropped trow and showed his package at the poker table. He throws a shoe at somebody. He shows his ding-a-ling and berries and gets kicked out of the WSOP. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, this is an embarrassing situation. The guy probably had too much to drink. Hours later, he's seen at a casino. There's video of this on social media. He gets into a craps table at another casino, jumps into the craps table, shows his package again. I don't want to give out too much information, but not a large man. Not that that really matters. Maybe it does to Chris, not to me. But not a large man, and he certainly doesn't shave either. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I hope that wasn't too graphic for you listeners out there. Kids, earmuffs. So he's in this craps table. 3 or 4 security guards have to get him out of. He's standing up in the craps table. The only other craps story that I have that might be funnier than this, and I'll say it, 30-second quick story. I'm playing craps in Connecticut at a place called Foxwoods. There's a small person. I know they don't like to be called the word midget. I guess some people get offended by that. I don't know why. But a small person is standing on a chair rolling the dice. Okay?
I like it.
So picture that.
A contemplation.
He's having a really good roll. There's tons of money on the table. He throws the dice. His momentum has him fall into the craps table, and as he's falling, the craps guy goes, man down, no roll, man down. And at this point, half the people at the craps table are just dying in laughter. So picture this. The guy falls into the craps table. Again, this is a little person. The embarrassment that he has to stand up, and one of the dealers helps him up. There's chips everywhere, okay? And he's standing up, a small person. He kind of looked like a leprechaun, a small little guy, right? And they're helping him out of the table.
So you're saying he wasn't very tall?
No, he was kind of short, okay?
And you're saying leprechauns can't be tall.
But anyway, I digress. Back to, that's my funny crap story, but back to this guy. JD, I know you saw this video. I don't know if you were turned on by it or not. I certainly was. But this guy, he drops trow, older fellow. Whatever drugs he's on, maybe we should be taking those. Because no, I'm just kidding. But seriously, what are you thinking? What is this guy thinking? He was out of his mind, showing his package and all that stuff.
His pocket rocket?
Yeah, exactly. But but guys, that's the kind of luck I would have, right? I'll be in a casino. It won't be a woman flashing an attractive woman. It's a middle-aged, overweight man that's dropping trow. But I mean, like, have you guys ever seen anything like that before? Because I haven't.
How come every time something like this goes down in a public place, it's never somebody that's an SI swimsuit model,
right,
or some good-looking person like JD over here? You know, I'm not putting you or Brian, or myself in there, Brian.
Thanks a lot.
But it's always some guy that looks like Ron Jeremy, right? You mentioned, of course, he's covered in hair. It's always somebody like that, Brian. What's the deal?
I don't know. It's disgusting. Yeah. It's a bad beat. What can I say? Speaking of bad beats, by the way, who's our president? Donald Trump. That's a bad beat. Anyway, so he always goes after CNN, right? He's been calling CNN fake news forever, and all the right-wing pundits and all these Trump supporters, fake news, the liberal media. Well, this is what Donald Trump tweeted over the weekend. He tweeted, quote, "Watching Fox News weekend anchors is worse than watching low ratings fake news CNN." He's calling Fox News on the weekends worse than CNN. Now, why does he do that? Well, because not everybody on the weekends kisses his ass. They don't have Laura Ingraham on the weekends, the witch Laura Ingraham, the racist, as I like to call her. Okay, they don't have Tucker Carlson on the weekends. Okay, I can name a few others, but I'll stop there. So, again, I think the Fox News coverage on the weekends is certainly better during the week. I think Shepard Smith does a good job. I think Wallace does a really good job. Brett Baer's a decent at what he does. But he just wants everybody to get on their knees and kiss his ass. This is what our president does. He acts like a 10-year-old, and now he's going after Fox News again. By the way, this is, like I said, this isn't the first time he's gone after Fox News. So for all you people out there, Trump supporters that attack CNN on a regular basis, that attack MSNBC and the liberal media and the enemy of the people, as the president likes to say, what do you make of this tweet, right? What do you make of the president now going after Fox News once again, saying watching Fox News on the weekends is worse than CNN? I'm not making this up, folks. This is what the president wrote. And by the way, it doesn't end there. President Donald Trump said today that the White House will no longer deal with British Ambassador to the U.S., Kim Darich. After a series of leaked diplomatic cables revealed he told 10 Downing Street that the administration was inept and clumsy. Do I need to go on and on about some of the people that Donald Trump sleeps with? I'm not talking about our First Lady, because we know that she's certainly not sleeping with him. But anyway, going back to what I was saying earlier, there are people out there that Donald Trump works with that he actually calls friends that have said far worse than he's inept and clumsy in the administration. But this is, and I bring this up for a reason with the CNN stuff with Fox News. This man is more thin-skinned and insecure than anybody I have ever seen in my life. He is more insecure than a 14-year-old girl on prom night. It is unreal what we have to deal with this guy. And again, he goes after the media on a regular basis. CNN, MSNBC, we expect that from him, right? Anybody that doesn't kiss his ass, that criticizes him, he goes after. But this is bringing it to a whole new level now. Now he's going after Fox News again. What do you guys make of this?
Well, here's the thing in regards to the media and President Trump. And you can even boil it down to even a smaller thing when it comes to what he approves of when it comes to the American media, Brian. You can boil it down to after 4 o'clock Eastern time on Fox News. That is all that he has respect for. That is all that he likes when it comes to the American media. He likes Sean Hannity. He likes Laura Ingraham. He likes Tucker Carlson. To some extent, he likes our guy that used to work for Bill O'Reilly, the guy from Connecticut. You know what I'm talking about.
Waters.
Jesse Waters. He likes Judge Jeanine Pirro. Okay, these are the only people. Everybody else, okay, and that includes Fox News people, which, as you pointed out, is Fox News on the weekend. But you also pointed out other names that are during the week that I don't think the president is a big fan of. Okay, when you talk about Shepard Smith and some of these, Chris Wallace and some others, there's some others that he also doesn't like. Okay, and then you can also obviously throw in there everybody else from the quote-unquote mainstream media. Whether you want to say CNN, MSNBC, you can go to all the networks as well, too, whether it's NBC, CBS, ABC, even PBS. Anybody that is not saying glowing terms when referring to President Trump is going to be a target. And you brought up, of course, this whole situation with the British ambassador. That is just another element to this administration that's vindictive, okay? He has a thing. He has a chip on his shoulder for anybody that criticizes him or any person in any capacity that says anything negative about him or his administration. What? And it's petty, and it's non-presidential, and it's completely unprofessional.
When do we say
that's the way he is?
When do we say enough is enough?
This is not going to be the backbreaker, Brian. Come on. All the stuff that's gone on, this is by no means going to be a backbreaker.
But I was talking to a staunch Trump supporter today. We had a nice conversation, and he looked at me and he said, why can't the president just stop the nonsense and the rhetoric? Why can't he just stop the tweeting and just do his job? When is it going to end? And this is just another example of that. I don't think it's going to end because the man can't control himself. And if people want to say, well, I don't care what he says on Twitter because the economy's great and unemployment numbers are down. First of all, the economy is not great. Okay, many of the people that have jobs are living barely squeaking by. So stop it with the unemployment numbers are down, because that is a bunch of nonsense, okay? Just because someone wasn't working and now they're working a $9 an hour job is not something to brag about. And when you look at economists, very intelligent people that are talking about the economy right now, the reason why those numbers are down is because there are so many people in this country that are working menial jobs, working 2 or 3 jobs. So don't you play that card where everything's great, the economy is great. Look, the rich are getting rich, the poor are getting poor, and we have a very serious issue at the border. Very serious issue. When we can't give kids bars of soap, when they can't take showers, when they don't have a toothbrush, that is what I would call an emergency, okay? Not illegals coming in that are, rapists, as Trump says, or bad people. No. The emergency we have right now are those kids that are at the border. That is the emergency. Those kids, bunch of 12-year-olds that are babysitting a bunch of 2-year-olds, okay? Kids that are not allowed to be with their family. Kids that are overcrowded in what appears to be it looks like jail cells. It is inhumane conditions. Now, I'm not going to compare it to Nazi Germany like Ocasio-Cortez did. She made a mistake there. Now she's doubled down on it. I completely disagree with her. That is not helping the cause here. But with that being said, there are a lot of problems that the president needs to be dealing with at this point. Stop blaming Democrats. Stop blaming the media, or as they like to call fake news, now going after Fox News. Stop blaming everybody for the problems that you have. Stop blaming the past administration. You are supposed to be this great deal maker, right? Great deal maker. Well, why don't you prove it? Why don't you show us what you can do and help these kids at the border? Why don't you prove that you the art of the deal? And I want to get your thoughts on this, Chris. Let me give out the number one more time if anyone wants to chime in on this. 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the program. 257-5396.
Well, let me bring it back full circle here, Brian, because you asked the question, and I'll give you the answer. You posed the question, when is he going to change with respect to these types of issues? And he's not going to change. That's the entire point. How many times we talk about it in 2016 saying, you know what? Now that he's president, he's going to change. He's going to go out there. He's going to act more presidential. He's going to mellow out. He's going to not have a vendetta against individuals. That has not been the case. Okay, that is not what has been transpired.
He hasn't
by
exactly
any means
had smooth sailing either. He's had a lot of people coming after him, and he's always had to be on the defensive. Obviously,
he's the president of the United States.
Obviously, he says way too much. And you're right. Well, I heard the same thing that you heard today. He just said, hey, why doesn't he just shut the F up? And I agree. To an extent, he doesn't need to do what he's doing. But he's always campaigning. He's always thinking about 2020, clearly.
But you're 100% right, JD.
But I think
he is catching a lot of heat, and he has been, because he's the president. The president always does.
That he is about to start the Trump News Network.
I certainly hope not.
I could see it, I guess. I mean, is that the expectation that he's not going to get reelected, though? I don't, you know what I'm saying, JD? I mean, is that what we're talking about here, or is it a situation where that's just one more business venture that he's looking into, do you think, as far as,
I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going to happen here, but what I do know is that there's a lot of issues, particularly at the border. Republicans with a lot of money can say the economy's great, but when you talk to a lot of middle class and low-income families, they're going to tell you, no, the economy's not great. We're still struggling just like we did 2 or 3 years ago. So to me, it's a bunch of nonsense. The number to call if you want to be a part of the show, 257-5396. Again, 702-257-5396. Let's go to Marge. Marge, what's going on?
Hi. I see several things here. I think he's blasting, the news media and everything, because I don't think he's got solutions. I think that's part of the problem. So he's diverting attention to the news media. Mm-hmm. If he had the right people around him, not the Jareds of the world,
right,
but people who really had experience in everything, then I think he could be proposing good solutions. But he's inept as far as who's getting around him, and I think that's a major problem.
I agree. Amen. I agree.
Yeah, and as far as these people.
Is Marge gone? Did we lose her?
Marge, go ahead, Marge. I'm sorry. We lost you for a second.
Yeah, we lost for a second.
Go ahead, Marge.
Sorry. I think as far as these people with low income, I think that the tariffs that have been imposed now are impacting them, and they're just not getting the increases in everything else. And yes, when you've got a low type job, you'll never get there.
Yeah. No, I am with you, Marge. We usually agree on this sort of stuff when it comes to politics. And once again, you're not going to get any rebuttal from me. 257-5396. Marge, good to hear from you. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Dave. Dave, what's going on?
Am I on the air?
Yes, sir, you are.
Oh, okay. So why don't we start with the children in cages? Pictures from Obama era 2000.
And I completely agree. And I completely agree. Dave.
Here's the other thing. You want to complain about?
Oh, hold on a second. No. Hold on. Dave, take a deep breath. Take a deep. Okay.
Change the asylum law.
Okay.
And you won't have this.
Would you like to continue? Okay. Okay. Are you gonna calm down now so we can have a conversation? Okay. First of all, listen. Kids in cages during the Obama administration completely will criticize the Obama administration for that situation. But guess what, Dave? Last I checked, Barack Obama is no longer the president. Two wrongs don't make a right. So check me on that.
Last I checked, he had the House and the Senate for 2 years.
Okay, so we can blame Obama all day. Right now, Donald Trump is the president, and we still have this problem.
Well, speaking of blaming Obama, he went after
Okay, so you don't want to address what I just said.
All right, wait a second. So you're talking about making changes to the site. Hey,
He used the tools of the FBI to go after
Okay.
his enemies.
Do
look,
me a favor.
you're throwing out a lot of stuff here, but you got to let us respond. You can't look. You have to let us respond. Okay. You talked about control of the House and the Senate. Who has had control of the House and the Senate for the past 2 years up until the elections of 2018?
There were 3 senators that were never Trumpers. He was never going to get.
Okay, so let me
so,
ask.
so, so
okay,
you're going to make excuses now? You're going to make excuses
okay,
now.
Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, Dave. Okay, let's just say 99.9% of it is Barack Obama's fault. Let's take your theory here for a second. Let me ask you a
I never
question.
said that.
Okay, well, it certainly sounds like you do.
You're basically trying to rationalize why Donald Trump's okay for doing it now because of what Barack Obama did 2.5 years ago and beyond.
Dave, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you to calm down here so I could ask you one basic question, okay? I'm going to imagine that you are a Donald Trump supporter. So let me ask you a question. With this problem that we have at the border now with all these kids in cages that don't have soap, they don't have toothbrushes in some instances, they can't shower. Don't you think that
How do you
you're...
know that?
How do I know that? Because there's proof. Because the people at the border, many of the employees are saying that it's coming from our own government. Are you a delusional right wing?
The leaders of the border.
Are you? Do you want to just have a scream match? Do you want? You are wrong, Dave. But I blame everything on Donald Trump. Barack Obama's perfect. What do you think about that, Dave? Get rid of Dave. Goodbye, Dave. Have a nice day. Holy smokes, man! You need a massage. Go to Chinatown or something. You're stressed out, dude. You need some release. 257. You need
This is the reddest I've seen Brian Shapiro in studio in my life, and I've seen him a lot.
He's
This
a
is crazy.
screamer, man. All right, I'm going to take one.
He was determined to get his point across, but he didn't want to have anybody counter him whatsoever. It's
Listen,
crazy.
Dave, for your birthday, I'm going to buy you a massage in Chinatown. Let's go to Neil. Neil, what's going on?
Brian, listen, that's a tough act to follow. Sounds like a food fight.
I only got a minute, Neil, so I'm sorry to go ahead.
Let me just say up front, being on your show is a real treat. It's a cheap thrill. I used to get in New York. I used to get on Tony Page's sports talk show at like 3 o'clock in the morning. But being on your show is great. Anyway,
I appreciate that.
I wish Donald Trump could meet Teddy Roosevelt. It would be awesome. Donald Trump, say what you want. He's pompous. He's arrogant. He's belligerent. But I love him. Because he's a patriot. We need to build a wall. Doggone it.
Well,
there's a lot of people that would disagree with you that are very studied in the area that don't believe that it's a very efficient way to go about solving border security issues that we have.
Quickly, I'm going to try to squeeze in one more call. I got 30 seconds, David, and I apologize, but I'm up against a hard break. Go ahead, David.
Oh, they told me I'd be sixth. Is it me?
Yeah, David, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Quickly, listen, the thing about the border crisis is this. In my understanding, there's 30% of the people who they are not their children. So the question is, are you willing to let everybody come in with the 30% that are trafficking?
Wait, one out of every 33 people you're saying? Excuse me, 33 out of 100 people you're saying are not their kids? That's a way high number.
David,
that is way high.
David, I'm sorry.
Don't we?
David, I want you to call in tomorrow. I promise you the first segment we're going to be talking about this, David. And I will give you ample time tomorrow, David, in our first segment. I apologize to cut you off. I'm up against a hard break. We will continue this conversation on the other side. Coming up next, the head coach of Findlay Prep, one of the best high school programs in the country, Rodney Haddix, will be joining us next on the Vegas Take. You're listening to the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. We'll be back right after this on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.